Hi, I'm Liz Doyle. This is Liz Doyle Beauty, and I think Katy Perry got mad. We were talking about, we were talking about the Blue Origin space flight, and all of a sudden, my live froze, and I had to delete the app and then reinstall it. So I'm back. I'm back. Did you miss me? I missed you. I'm back. Anyways, we're going to talk. You know what? I love a challenge. So we're going to talk yet again. Oh, let me show you really quick since the last video is gone. I don't know. All right, let me show you this cute dress. All right, this is a cute dress. I've got it linked. I had to download and reinstall. Is it a coincidence? Who knows? So anyways, here we are. I'm back. I think this is a really cute little dress. I think I'm going to get a regular, I don't know. It's a very White Lotus. I love simple little dresses like this, and it's linked in the comments, okay? All right, so where did we leave off? I've primed already. Today I'm going to be using Ophir makeup for the most part. If I use something different, I'll let you know. Like this is a L'Oreal, Plump Ambition hyaluronic lip plumping thing. I don't think it works, to be honest. But I like it. It's a little bit spicy. Hi, Pash! Hey! I just went to like a pitch that only dogs could hear. Hey, I miss you. I miss you. I miss your face. Little thin thing. Little having a, what's it called? A second, what's it called? I forgot what the word, my face. Yeah, I hope y'all didn't hear me. I cussed. I hope you didn't hear that. When the app, like, it closed out and it brought me back to my home page, and I was like, it brought me back literally to the home screen of my, yeah, you need this for the clips and games. It brought me back to like the home screen of the, like of my phone, like my phone home screen. All right. So anyways, I'm back and I'm ready to talk about, okay. So previously, before I got so rudely interrupted, we were talking about, you know what, Chris, a lot of times if there's an update coming, if they say there's an update coming, things start glitching like crazy. So there might be some new features they're adding. If your Facebook is acting weird, that's always what I like to remind myself is like, oh, maybe something good is coming. I'm like, oh, you are? Paz, I am so excited. Please let me know. Let me know. All right, so a few things we're going to talk about today. Abram's baptism, the weekend, I don't know. We're going to talk about a few things. Easter, remind me to talk about the Easter Bunny, because that is like the greatest part of the whole weekend. That's like the greatest story. And then, all right, so this Blue Origin flight. So a whole bunch of millionaires got together and they said, you know what would be fun, Lauren Sanchez, if your boyfriend lets borrow the rocket for the day. And so an all-female crew of space tourists went up in this Blue Origin rocket yesterday. First of all, the ironic thing is, girl power and all that, it was a very phallic shaped rocket. I feel like we have advanced enough in this world and as a country that our rockets don't have to be shaped like peens anymore. You know, like there are other options. There are many other options to the shape it could be. It looked shockingly like a peen. You don't believe me? Go Google it. Okay. Aw, isn't that sweet, Kimberly? I'll tell you all about that too. So anyways, these all females go up in this peen into space. Okay. It is an 11-minute ride. I just imagine they went to Oprah and they were like, hey girl, do you want to go to space? And Oprah was like, hell no. Not no, but hell no. I sure don't. ask Gail. She'll do anything for a little publicity. And so they're like, hey, Gail, do you want to go? And she's like, who else is going? And they're like, Katy Perry. And she's like, is she going to sing? And they're like, we'll try to keep it at a minimum. So they all take an 11-minute, well, I don't really think it should look like either. I don't think that's the most impressive, like, I don't know. So anyways, it looks like there has to be other options for shapes is all I'm trying to say. So they send this all-female crew of celebrities. And honestly, it kind of reminded me of like an episode of Big Brother or something. Like there was all this publicity, there was all this talk, and then they were just like wildly uncomfortable, and then they came back, and it was just a publicity thing. Yeah, Oprah was like, send Oprah Light. Send Diet Oprah up there. She'll be fine. So they go up into into space, which honestly is a joke. I have no interest in going to space. I don't want to. I'll go ahead. I'm making fun of this because this is not a desire or anything that has ever been on my bucket list. Savvy sells the strand. Gail would do anything. Yes, Gail is just like, all right, I'm doing this in the name of Oprah. And she gets up. We're talking about the rocket that went up yesterday. So Lauren Sanchez gathered some girl power together and they went up in space. Just them, just girls, girl power. Kris Jenner was the announcer. So if you thought that voice sounded familiar, it did. Okay? Deborah, that's a great point. Hey, Debbie. So anyways, they go up into space and they're up there and they turn back around. And Katy Perry pulls out this flower and then she's singing. Bye, Savvy. She's singing and I can't with her. She reminds me of a child that didn't get enough attention growing up. So hopefully this did her in, Don't even get me started on the house that her and her husband took from the old man, or the way the nun died in court while they were fighting over a convent because Katy Perry wanted to live in it. It's just, in the ranking of annoying celebrities, she is very far up there. She is very far up there. They should have used the money they spent on her. Literally, they could have used it on, like, Twizzlers, and it would have made more sense to me. Like, they could have built more houses or something, And so anyways, so they go up in space and they get up there and Katy Perry pulls out this daisy and she's like, did you know a daisy can grow through any crack? It's so resilient, just like us women. And then she sang a song and I was just like, oh my God, that is so aggravating. We should have left her up there, I think. And then she comes back down and she kisses the earth. And it's like, child, you were gone for 11 minutes. Like, you have taken airplane rides longer than that. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. I have no desire to go to space. It's never been on my bucket list. It's never been something I want to do. It's not been a dream of mine. It looks quite terrifying and boring, if I'm being honest. I saw that last astronaut. They sent up that lady and that man that got stuck up there for 9 months. Did y'all see her when she came back? They were saying like she aged like in dog years because everything is different up there. So like, even though she was gone 9 months, she potentially aged like 10 years or something crazy. And I was like, well, it makes sense. I mean, she looked like she just had a rough ride. I can't imagine how I would look, though, if I packed for like 1 day trip and I got stuck somewhere for 9 months. Desolate, So whatever. She is a real astronaut, though. We got to give her that. Katy Perry is not. So Katy Perry was like, we put the ass in astronauts. And it's like, do you? I don't think you do. Because first of all, you're not an astronaut. It's like an official title. Like, just because I've been in a plane doesn't make me a pilot. Just because I've been outside my garage doesn't make me a car. Like, that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that, sister. So, cool. But I'm sure if I was an astronaut, I would be offended in many ways. But again, I don't want to go to space. So that's not something I'm concerned with. So they go to space in this peen and they're up there a minute and then they come back down and it's like all this, it is just like all this show. For what? For what? And they're like, yeah, and we did it and we're girls. I was like, I don't know. And then Lauren was like, we put the glam in outer space. And I was like, Yeah, okay. So anyways, that happened yesterday. And it was quite, I think it's going to be the most ridiculous thing. Yeah, you can say that here. I think it's probably going to be one of the things that I'm ready to get past this chapter of American history. And they got up there and they're like, oh my goddess, get it? Like, instead of, oh my God, oh my goddess. And like, they're looking at the moon and like, oh, she's a pink moon. I'm just like, I just imagine astronauts everywhere were like, and it's embarrassing as a country a little bit, don't you think? Like, we've got all these things going on, and it just, I think they just want to wear cute outfits. I think Lauren Sanchez was like, I designed these really cute outfits. And they didn't represent women, honestly. They were a whole bunch of really, really super wealthy women that never relate to anything we've ever been through. So, like, did they represent women, or did they represent a very small portion of the world? And that was stupid. You know, it was just so, it was stupid. I don't think I need to talk about it. Thanks, Heather. I don't think I need to say it again for you to know my thoughts and feelings. This was the most ridiculous chapter of U.S. history I've ever been a part of. I'd rather film my colonoscopy on Facebook Live. Just the dumbest chapter of U.S. history right there. So anyways, that happened. And then what else happened? Yeah, that was stupid. That was a stupid thing that happened yesterday. That was dumb. Hey, look at us. We have so much money. Exactly. So that was just a little quick dumb thing that happened yesterday. And honestly, it took them all longer to get into those tight suits than it did to get up to space. So that's cool, you know. So they got these cute outfits and a story to tell. I follow that real astronaut on TikTok, and she's a mom. They did it. I wouldn't do it. So kudos to them. I'm not even sure it's worth even the kudos that it's written on, you know, like, and Katy Perry, and it's just, anyway, so that happened yesterday. And yeah, that was like the biggest news to come out like ever. And we're all just down here like scratching our heads, and they're like, do they know that we don't care? Weird. Earthquake in California yesterday. Oh my gosh, I heard that. Where did I hear that? I think I heard it on the news this morning or something. I was just like, yeah, I'm not impressed. Bring back Buzz Aldrin. Like, I know R.I.P. and all that, but bring him back. He was sassy. He liked to punch people in the face that said we didn't land on the moon. Which, fun fact, Josh's granddad is one of those people. God rest his soul. He did not believe that we went to space. He believed it was filmed on the sand dunes in the Outer Banks. That's a true story. You had a dream about me? Oh, I'm honored, flattered. So many women want their daughters to be known for their brains and hearts and not their bodies. Yeah, I agree. Hello, Mary. You look like you had a great time. I lost my phone and watch. Oh, so you're having a full panic attack in your dream. That sounds relaxing. So this past weekend, we had a really big weekend. Y'all, I wish I had a way to show you the picture right now, but you just got to trust me when I explain it to you. Anna Lee got hired. Anna Lee got hired to be the Easter Bunny this past weekend. One thing I can say about my sweet Weeze, she's going to work. Like, as soon as she is old enough, she's going to work because she likes things and she likes earning money and she likes buying things. So she does not care. When an opportunity comes her way, she jumps all over it. So my sweet child was the Easter Bunny this weekend at an Easter party, and it was the funniest thing. Hey, Ellen, thank you. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I really hate that she missed the opportunity and didn't like make TikToks or anything in the costume. But yeah, she was the Easter Bunny at a party for kids. And one of the kids found out it was Anna Lee. And she said, Annalie, I know that's you in there. This child's so country. She sounds like you, Danielle. And she said, Annalie, I know that's you in there. And she ran out the room and she said, everybody, it was Annalie. Annalie was like, shh, don't do that. Don't ruin it for everybody. She was like, hey, everybody, it was Annalie. And Annalie was like, oh, man. So she got paid $100 to be the Easter Bunny. And it looked just like her. It looked just like her. I saw a picture of her in the costume. It looked exactly like her. That's what they told her. So the girl who owns the costume said, hey, if you want to do drive-bys and throw Easter eggs out the window, I think that would be I think you could go do that for like $100 or $150. Just tell people, if you want the Easter Bunny to swing by your house, let me know this weekend. Weeze does it all. Mayor of the neighborhood. Now she's the bunny. She's going to have a cool life story. She's going to have a really cool story. And then she spent the rest of the weekend. We did basketball tournaments this past weekend. And we did Abram's baptism. I'm back. I was wondering where you went. I had to reinstall my app. It was a whole thing. We talked about the space thing again. Just the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. So you didn't miss much. Now, Annalie was the Easter Bunny on Saturday. I would have been the Easter Bunny for $100, to be honest. I would have. For an hour to sit there. Yeah, I would have been the Easter Bunny. David is my cousin. Who? I don't know who that is. So anyways, they go and she does the Easter Bunny stuff, and then she goes and spends the weekend with some friends who are at a dance competition as like their #1 fans, because she's so sweet. She loves supporting people, and she's just a really good friend and a funny person. And so Abram, I have a good story. If I tell you guys a good story, I need you to check your judgment at the door. I don't need your feedback. I don't need you guys judging me. Phone call, conference call done. Okay, good. I'm glad you got caffeinated. You're gonna need it for this roller coaster of a live video. So thank you, Mary. So anyways, Friday night, Abram had a game, right? And they won their game. He hit a really good shot. I don't know how to explain to y'all what he did. I could draw you a picture. Oh, really? Oh, I don't know why. I just, like, my brain farted. Do you know Jen? She is amazing, and she does the coolest balloon things. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. All right, so Abram's game Friday was great. My friend Pam came, Facebookless Pam came to support him. She happened to have the wristband and the parking pass because she collects them. And so she doesn't have to pay to get into tournaments, allegedly. I just outed her. If you work at the tournament, no, she doesn't. Okay? So anyway, she, it really goes, is there, I think so, Amy. I think so. That sounds familiar. So anyways, we go to Abram's game, okay, and he does a really good move, and he's playing great. They won their first game. They were all, like, over the moon excited. These kids were all normal sized. I don't know what kind of tournament this was, but the fact that everyone was a normal size was just right there, was an instant confident booster, because everybody we have played so far has been 6'2". They had a mustache. They're 11 years old. It's just, they're 11 going on 37. Abram's shot was beautiful, went down the center, took the shot. His coach has been working with him a lot about not picking up his dribble and taking the shot. Those are the two things he is not, it's just with confidence. He'll get better. And as he gets stronger, he'll do better. So anyways, we went to the game on Friday night, and then there was another one on Saturday. All right, don't judge me, because after this, we're going into a baptism story. Okay, so I need you to remember that Jesus died for my sins and nobody's perfect and all that stuff, okay? So anyways, we go to Abram's tournament, okay? And the refs look like Scooby and Shaggy. They are young. I'm not sure how young, but they are very young. They are very young children. They had to have been 18 to ref this tournament. So the coach is like screaming things out, right? So they're like, sit down. The young guys look over at the coach, and I'm gonna tell you one thing about the coach. He is always sitting on ready. He is lit. I like it. It's very entertainment. It's very entertaining. He loves my child, and he coaches really great, and he loves the kids. You could tell he would do anything. But he also is sitting on ready. Like, you could tell as soon as the game starts, like the fuse has been lit, and you got a little bit of time before things explode. So anyway, so again, we love him so much. I'm telling you guys this story because it leads into another story, and I need you just to be judgment free, okay? So Abram's coach is like coaching from the sidelines, like all the guys do, right? And the refs look over and they say, sit down. And he's like, I don't have to sit down. And then they start making calls. Like, the refs start making stupid calls on our team as they're like in a little tiff with the coach. So then we're like this one kid hit a buzzer beater, and they were like, yeah, exactly, Kimberly. They hit a buzzer beater and they wouldn't give us the points for it. And so anyways, that's a different story we're going to lead into in a minute. So our coach is wild. He's lit. He loves basketball. He loves winning. He loves the boys. He warned us, like, I may get a little lit throughout the season, but just know it's out of love, and I know what your children are capable of, and blah, blah, blah. So they say, sit down. And he says, I'm not sitting down. I don't have to sit down. And so the refs make a few more calls, and they look over at him. And they're like, are you ready to sit down yet? And he's like, I'm not sitting down. And the guy's like, well, how about I throw you out the game? And Abram's coach says, how about I come over there and I slap the out of you? And you know, I'm the nosiest person in the world, and I love nothing more than when something pops off. Like, I literally take it all in, and it becomes like the highlight of my entire life when something starts popping off. I'm not one of those moms that's like, don't do it in front of the kids, because there were a few moms sitting around that were like, not in front of the kids. And meanwhile, I'm like, just look the other way, Abram. Mom's learning something right now. And so I'm like, I got like my ear out, and I'm like, oh my. So they throw our coach out. They throw our coach out. They're like, hey, you can't do that. So they throw him out. And then the child hits the buzzer beater, okay? And it's halftime at this point. Hey, Debbie, good morning. It's halftime. And the refs come and they sit beside Josh with, one of them had a girlfriend, which they're not supposed to do that. They should be over on the other side of the official table. They shouldn't come sit in the crowd with the parents. That was a bad look to begin with. So they come over, and all these parents are like, I've got a replay of what happened. Will you please look at this replay? Okay, and in this league, they don't look at replays. This ain't the NBA, sister. Just calm down. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't really think anything, like, there's, aside from my child getting hurt, there's nothing I'm willing to, like, argue about, really, in these tournaments, because I don't know anything. I literally just sit there, I'm like, why'd they do that? And Josh has to, like, talk me through it like a small child. And so I look over, and this one dad is leaning over, and he says, hey, I got that shot on film. Will you just look at it? And the ref goes, yeah, I'll look at it. And he turns around and he goes, your socks are dirty. I ain't looking at And I was like, dang, he hit him with your socks are dirty. So that's when I knew this guy did not come to play. So then this other mom walks up and she's like, hey, look at this. Just look at it for a second. And he's like, yo, lady, I ain't looking at nothing. And he sort of reminded me of Malibu's Most Wanted, like when Jamie Kennedy would do that character. He's like, yo, lady, I ain't looking at okay? And she's like, listen to me. You don't have to look at it, but you do have to be respectful. And he's like, bro, get out of my face, bro. And she's like, I'm not your brother. And he's like, yo, your breath is stank. Get out of my face. And he's like insulting her. He said a few other things I won't repeat. This is the ref on the sideline. And I was just like, so the other team ends up getting caught up, and they're tied. And we go, so somebody goes and gets the police. They go and get the director of the tournament. And I'm sitting there like, I filmed it. I filmed it all. I did. I filmed it all. I filmed it. And I was filming it. I filmed it all. I got it all on tape. It was wild. It was wild. I was just sitting there like, and then, you know, there's always that one mom that's like, you know, think about the kids. Don't do this around the kids. And I was like, lady, shh, shh. I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to hear what's going on right now. Jeez, could you hush? Okay, do-gooder. I get it. I get it. You want to be... It is wild. It is wild. He's like, bro, get out my face. And she's like, I'm not your brother. Look at this. And he's like, hey, look at it. And I was just like... And Josh and I are literally like right beside this. And I was just sitting there with my... I had my phone up, just like right in their faces. I was like leaning over Josh. And we're all in a very little tight area because it's just like chairs, you know? And I film everything. Listen, there is no shame in my content game. I will film it. If we're out in public, something pops off, I'm not helping. I'm filming. Somebody else is going to have to help. I'm not even a good helper anyways. You don't want my help. And I was just like, yes, it was incredibly inappropriate. It was like 50-50. Like, it was as much the refs as it was the parents. And I was just sitting there and I was like, and Josh was like, I get it, but like, this isn't the NBA. Like, none of our kids are going, you know, this isn't like the Final Four. Like, it's not that serious. That's what Josh's mindset. He always says, it's not that serious. And I'm like, I know, but isn't it fun? And so I'm always all up in it. My name is Bennett and I'm always up in it. I can't get enough. Hey, Jamie, I have learned that these tournaments are like insane. They are insane. They are so entertaining and I can't get enough of it. So I may just keep going to tournaments. Even if my child doesn't play basketball, this may be my new thing. And I was like, my camera. I'm literally like 3 feet away from the people and I'm filming. And then I watched the video back and the girlfriend of the ref is like, the girlfriend of the ref is like, she's taking her picture. She's taking her picture. And I was like, no, I'm taking a video, ma'am. I'm taking a video of you. It is so wild. I love it. I might start a new account. Just crazy. I know. That's what she said. She was like, how dare you? Where's your respect? It was crazy. It must have not have been a sanctioned tournament, like a qualifying tournament. I was all ears. I used to talk like Josh. My son ended up in the minor leagues. I love it, Teresa. You're like, it's not that serious. And it did, in fact, end up being that serious. Cool. But we were just like, and you have to know that my child is like, I mean, they're semi-sheltered. Like, we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't go out. Like, we don't have parties. We really don't do anything that raises your blood pressure or your adrenaline. Like, we like to keep it pretty boring around here. And so whenever my children see something like that, it's like a day at the zoo. Like, they can't get enough of it. They're like, it was so freaking crazy. It was so crazy. So that happened Saturday. They tied the game, and then the other team ended up winning in overtime by like 2 points, I think. That was a little heartbreaking because if they'd just given us the buzzer beater, we would have beat them. So that stunk. And then, oh my gosh, I'm not surprised, Kathy. People pop off. Like, people get lit. Now, if the mom from our team was not in this video, I would have posted it already because I do think they should be ashamed of themselves. But also, like, it was entertaining. Camille, I will post the link as soon as I get off here. I got to remember where I get it from. Annalie was not there. She missed it. And when we told her about it, she was like, dang it. I miss all the good stuff. She was at a dance competition with friends. So if she had been there, it would have been like, Abram just kind of shrugged it off. As we were leaving, I was like, buddy, did you see everything that was going on? He was like, yeah, my coach called them Scooby and Shaggy. And I was like, oh, that was good. That was good. And then like when the coach got thrown out, there was like 30 seconds where there wasn't a coach on the bench. So like one of the kids from the older teams was over there, and he like stood up. And he was like, he thought it was his moment to shine. And then like the assistant coach walked up and he was like, oh, dang it. But it was really something. It was very eventful. And I was just like, where are we? These tournaments, they are the gift that keeps giving. They were worth the $32 admission. Honestly, I would have paid $32 all day long for that kind of drama. So yeah, then we left and we had a really good weekend. We didn't really do too much. When you're at the mercy of these tournaments, especially if it's a bracket play tournament, you don't know when you're playing again. So like you get your first time and then the rest of that is like, well, just stay tuned. You live kind of far away? Sorry about your luck. You better just sit in the parking lot, you know? So they did good. They played a good game. And they really have made a huge improvement in the past 2 weeks. At first, they were just scared to take shots. And now they're doing better. So it's just really funny. It's really good. If you want to have a good time, go to a child's athletic event, like a tournament, like it has to be a travel one, I've noticed. Like people at schools are not as invested as the travel situation. You go to a travel situation, you're like, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is the baby NBA. This is NBA Junior here. That's what these parents think this is. It was so crazy. I don't think I've ever really gotten too hype about anything in my life. Like I think I'm just kind of like, you know, like just real even. I don't know. I don't know. Now, my children, if someone hurt them or messed with them, but like a call, it's not going to be enough to really get me like too lit, you know? There goes your summers. And well, he's not doing a summer one, thankfully. This is over soon. And then what will I talk about? You know, we'll have nothing left to discuss. But that was Saturday. And then Sunday we went to the game and it was uneventful. We had some good refs that were older. And they were just respectful and everybody respected them. There was this one kid that was on the team. This was the only like tall kid we played all week. And this kid was like 5'10". And I just am blown away. People that have tall children like this, do you guys know that everyone envies you at these? I mean, I don't, not me personally, but like, do you know that like you're the envy of the tournament? Like these sports parents, you have a tall kid, you have hit the lottery, even if your child is not athletic, as long as they can just push the ball, get a rebound, that's all as long as they have a pulse, they can do that. So like they blow my mind. So the gloves are off. You're exactly right, Mary. It is crazy. No one cares. So then Abram was set to be baptized. So in class the other day, his teacher, they were talking about baptisms and they were, you know, with Easter coming up, they were discussing baptisms and all that stuff. And you all know Josh's story. He's been baptized in the Jordan River. Like, he doesn't care where you've been baptized. He is the ultimate, like, he'll hit you with it when you least expect it. You could literally be telling him, like, I was baptized in the fountain of youth, and I went down an adult, and I came up a baby. And he'll just hit you with it. He'll be like, that is awesome. I was baptized in the Jordan River. And everybody's like, oh, his baptism story can literally trump anyone's. So that's something Josh just likes to brag about. And so we go to this. So they're talking about it in class. Now, one thing about my child, he is more, unless he's on the basketball court, he's very passive. He doesn't really like want too much attention unless he's feeling super silly. He's just always like kind of stands back and like always had to take his birth certificate. I'm ready to card these kids, to be honest. So he just kind of stands back and he lets other people like take. You were, Shannon? were you with Josh? Were you with Josh in like 99 or 2000? So I've got to get my story together. Well, oh, the baptism story. Okay. So we left Saturday and Abram was set to be baptized, and he's very quiet. And the reason he hasn't been baptized yet is because every time they baptize somebody at church, he says, "Oh, I'd like to be baptized, but I don't want anyone there." And they have yet to do after hours baptisms at the church, so he has just never been baptized. And I wanted to wait until it was his decision, and I wanted him to sort of take the lead and like handle the situation. And yeah, so I have stepped back and I'm just letting him figure out that stuff. So they talked about it in school, and he came home and I was like, "Hey buddy, what's this email about baptisms? Is this something you want to do?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I told Miss Lit I wanted to do that." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, wow, that's great. This is news to me. I'll get you all signed up or whatever. Another thing about Abram is if you tell him too much, he will back out on anything. Like he gets overwhelmed. He just feels like, he starts overthinking it. He's got a method to his madness. And so you can't talk to him about it too much. So this past week, Josh and I would drop subtle hints. Like you have to be very tactful with that one. You have to really you have to it's like going to war. Like you have to have a game plan when discussing important things with him, or else he'll just say, "Never mind, I'm not doing it." And then he will sink his heels in and you will never get him to do whatever it is you want him to do. So I did not want him to know, number one, it was in the ocean. He literally has the body temperature of a tiny old man. He is always cold. He keeps socks on his feet. He would love it if the house was 76 degrees. He's like a little tiny elderly person, okay? He does not want to be cold. He does not get cold. When it snowed here, he literally went outside for like 15 minutes on one day and 15 minutes on another, and he was done. Meanwhile, every kid in the neighborhood's outside. He's like, "I'm good. It's cold." So Josh was like, so throughout the week, Josh and I were like, I was like, "Man, it's going to be really cool when they take you in the ocean." Because I also didn't want to be blindsided once we got there. So I would like drop like little breadcrumbs throughout the week. Like, it's going to be real cool when you walk out into that ocean with Miss Lit. And he was like, "Yep." And then he was like, "Wait, in the ocean?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I thought it was in a pool." And I was like, "No, but it's in the ocean." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm excited." So then he finds out like his two besties are also going. So I have that on my side. So throughout the week, we're just like, "Hey, you know what this is all about, right?" And he's like, "Yes, I know." And he would tell us what a baptism meant. And he'd be like, "Yeah, I want to be baptized." And I'd be like, "Okay, cool." And so we brought it up like once a day. And then he's a tiny little nugget. He's so cute. And everybody thinks he's so cute. Like, I don't want to brag. And I hope none of the other moms get on here, but I think he got the loudest cheer when he got baptized. I think he got the loudest cheer. So anyways, we don't tell anybody I said that. So we get there and it's Sunday, and he's like, "I just want to stay home." He's real big on just staying home on the weekends. He just wants to stay at home. He doesn't want to go a lot of places. So I was like, "Buddy, we're not going to stay home. We got to go to this thing." And he's like, "Okay, but then after that, can we come home?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. We'll come home after that. Like, where else are we going to go?" So we go to the baptism thing, and it's at someone's house. Well, this has grown to an event that is now too large for this person's house, even though it was a mansion on the ocean front. You just don't really want to bring that many people. I didn't want to go in the house because I was like, "Nope, everything in there looks very expensive. I will just stay outside. It's fine. We're going to get in, we're going to get out," type of deal. So they moved this function out back. And there's like videographers, and there's always that one kid that's like toting around a jellyfish, Like there's always that one kid that's like throwing things at the seagulls and toting around a jellyfish, and it's literally like, "Okay, put it down." And you're "Okay." That's funny. So there were those kids running around, and then they had food. They had like Bojangles and like Takis and all these things for like the snacks kids wanted. And so then it was time to be baptized, okay? And they start bringing people in. I told his teacher prior to all of this getting started, I said, "Hey, listen to me. I don't want Abram to back out. Maybe he should go first." And she was like, "We're just going to let him come whenever they're ready." And I was like, We could be here for a few months if we're going to do that. But okay, sure. Yeah, you're in charge here. So they start the baptisms and they're like, kids are going out. Kids are hyped up. You can tell. The extroverts are out there cheering. They're so excited. It's their big day. They're running out there. One little girl took off running, hit a hole, fell, baptized herself before it was time. She got double dipped. And so Abram's got like a large cheering squad. And we're all standing there. And I'm like, Josh, you're going to have to intervene, because it does get to a point where only Josh can do certain things and he's going to listen. So we're there and the crowd is very large. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. So we're sitting there and there's a large crowd. And I'm like, Josh, you need to go over there and say something to him. Like, give him a little nudge. Every time another kid went, I just keep thinking to myself, like, we're getting closer to the edge, closer to the end, and he's still not going. And so Josh goes over there and he's like, come on, buddy, go next. And Abram's like, no, this girl's going next, and then this girl's going next. I'll go in a little while. And Josh is like, but you're going, right? And he's like, And Josh's like, buddy, look at me, you're going. That wasn't a question, that was more of a statement. Abram's like, okay, Dad. And so Josh comes back over and Josh was like, oh. And I was like, what? He's like, there might be 2 people getting baptized today. He said, because I'm dragging him out there if he won't go. He was like, I'm gonna drag him out there. I'm gonna put him in a rear naked choke and he's getting baptized today. Both of us might be. And I was like, so we're getting nervous. It's getting down to the end. We're getting real nervous. So finally we end up talking Abram's best friend that was also there, who's also quiet, into going and getting baptized. And so he went out there. Yeah, you should be concerned. He went out there and he got back, and then Abram went next. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. So he went out there, he got dunked. It was sweet. He's like, did you see my feet? One thing about Abram is one time he was accidentally drowned at a water park, like not fully drowned, but like sputtered, took in water. And it was a traumatic event for him. There was a big kid at the water park that was hanging all over him. This kid pulled him underwater, wouldn't let him up. I had to intervene. I was like, hey, get up off him. And then Abram came up and was horrified, shaking. It was a very traumatic incident for him, okay? So this baptized thing, I was like, ooh, he started having flashbacks. He's like, what if they hold me under too long? I was like, buddy, they're not going to need to do that. It's going to be fine. He's like, but they could. And I was like, no, they won't. I promise they won't do that. And so and then he comes out and he's like, did you see my feet kicking? I wasn't ready yet. And I was like, well, good thing. This is like a one and done. You're, you don't have to do it again. So you're done. And he was like, oh, I'm so happy. So then we went to dinner and we just had a really great time. So that was our weekend as a whole. That was our weekend. It was just basically just crazy. Ava was there. She was so proud. Annalie was there. She took videos. It's so cute. It's so cute how they're like little moms. And then his best friend, her name is Phoebe. I realize this is like the story about nothing, but y'all just hang in there. I'm excited. I'm proud of him. He's a sweet little nugget. So his best friend's name is Phoebe. Phoebe is not, they are best friends. Okay. I need you to understand that. Phoebe is best friends. They're like the sweetest 2 best friends, because Phoebe literally like helps Abram and does everything for him. So I told one of the teachers, I was like, poor Phoebe, like, please, I feel like she needs a break. Because she does everything for him at school. And I was like, just make sure, just make sure he's not taking advantage of Phoebe, because she walks in a room and like helps him with everything. And so, yeah, Phoebe. And so one of the teachers came up to me and she was like, do you know what's so funny? I was like, what? She was like, I never noticed that was their dynamic until you brought it up. She said, and then 2 days ago, I'm in science and Phoebe walks in and Abram's right behind her. And Phoebe goes, hey, has anyone seen Abram's iPad? And I was like, well, I mean, look at his house. He's got 3 females who literally like do anything for him. Like, of course he's just going to let Phoebe take the reins. Like, yeah, sure, I can't find my... She's probably the one that noticed his iPad was missing. He probably didn't even notice. He's just, like, floating through life. So it was sweet. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we had a good time. Then we went to dinner, and it was just a really nice time. I will say, though, our server at dinner, it was an awkward situation. Do you know when you go out to dinner and you get a server who you're just not vibing with? You're just not, like, you know, you're like, oh, can I have a refill? They're like, I was bringing you a refill. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And suddenly you want this person to know you're the most polite person in the whole county, and that's all that matters. I felt like that was like our server. Like, it was weird. It was awkward. And I feel like a good server can really enhance, like, the whole experience you're having. Like, can I have extra salad? Oh, I was just bringing it. Like, oh, okay. Sorry. I just wonder. Sorry. Thank you, Bethany. I know, I love that blush. I think it's great. It's very, very pigmented. So anyways, that was our weekend. That's really all I got from here. Next week is spring break. Yeah, next week is spring break. My son is a best friend like that. They're more like brother and sister. So awesome. Her mom became besties too. Aww. That's so sad. We love Phoebe. And he's such a boy. Like, I was looking through his iPad and Phoebe was like, hey, I'm so excited. I'm coming to your baptism. I just want you to know I'm really proud of you. And he put like, okay. And I was like, buddy, he had like a few messages like that in his iPad. And I was like, buddy, type these people back and say more than just K or okay. Men, it's such a man thing, because Josh does the same thing. I will literally be like, I am so proud of you every day. You are the reason I breathe. I adore your face. You're perfect. And Josh will write back, okay, I love you. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. I like it too as lip color. I think this is a really pretty lip color. This is Physicians Formula Butter Glow and Go. It has a coconut scent and flavor to it. Berry and tan, multi-use stick. I like it. So we thought about going out of town next week for spring break. I'll keep you posted on that. It is going to be 90 degrees. I don't think I have to tell you where we're going, but or where we think we're going. Sweetest met, he never replies back. I know, or you tag him in something. The girls do that to me. I always make sure I respond. I know, I type a whole story too. I'm like, give me that iPad, I'll do that. So, yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think. I feel like I had so much to talk about. Oh, you guys, does anyone watch The Last of Us? Oh, wait, I do have something else to talk about. He's like, yeah, can you take me to Chick-fil-A? That's what my children will respond back. I'm like, you are the reason I'm alive. You are my purpose. You are my everything. I don't know what I do with that. And they're like, Starbucks? ? I'm like, no. So Disney the week before Christmas is good if you can get in and you can get out. It's of course going to be very busy. There's only like 2 or 3 weeks throughout the year that I would not recommend going to Disney, or that I recommend going to Disney if you can. And one is like the week after school starts, like the week after Labor Day. So you know, literally every school in the country is back to school. And then the other one is the week in January, whatever that holiday is, the week after New Year's Eve, but before the marathon. I know. Perfect week. I can take off and have my spring break next week too. I feel like we're having the endless spring break. I'm gonna message you where Hubs and I are going. Oh, I'm excited. The Last of Us is on my binge list while I'm like, oh, you're gonna love it. I watched the new episode yesterday. I wasn't really impressed like I should have been. It was okay. I feel like they should have hit the ground running because it took so long to film and get this episode or get this season out. I felt like it should have been a lot more exciting than it was, but maybe they're saving it all for episode 2. It was just sort of like, when it was over, I was like, he booked who wants to go his first week of high school. Ew, who wants to do that? Annalie took a tour of her high school yesterday. Oh, I hit her with her own. I got my child. I finally got my child. I did it. Yesterday, I got her back. You know those moments as moms, they're like few and far between where you can actually like get back at your child. And even though it's small, it still is a huge victory. Oh, remind me to tell you about the pit too. I know we have a really late spring break this year. I was not expecting that, but it's always the week of Easter. So Easter is so late this year, causing spring break to be late. Abram did have like a March break, like a quick March break where they were out Friday and Monday, but Annalie didn't. So anyways, I got to tell y'all. Wait, what was I just getting ready to say? Okay, I got a story about the pit, but okay, so I watched how I got Annalie. God, I'm all over the place today. So, Annalie went and toured a high school yesterday. She's in 8th grade. Next year, she's going to the big leagues. So she got to go tour the high school. And while she was getting dressed, nobody listens to me around here. So I honestly didn't think I had gotten her like I did. I had pranked her like I thought I did because no one listens to me. Like, I feel like I just talk and everybody just moves around me because I talk so much. They just have started tuning it out. So I was in the hall yesterday walking past Annalie's bedroom and I said, hey, while you're at the high school today, make sure you go to the 4th floor. There's no 4th floor. Make sure you go to the 4th floor and you see the indoor pool. Yep. Which is frequently what they would tell children that were going into the high school back in my day. They'd be like, oh yeah, have you seen the pool yet on the roof? And we'd be like, no. And they'd be like, yeah, there's a pool up top. And there was never a pool. Like the oldest trick in the book. So I was like, hey, when you get to the high school, make sure they show you the pool. And she got in the car yesterday. She was pissed. She was like, Mom, I was in a group of boys because we got separated with our classes and all my friends were out of school yesterday. She was like, I was with a group of boys and I told them, you guys wait until we see the pool. There's a pool here. Mom, were you lying? There is no pool. She was like, you are such an op. I got her, everybody. I got her. That was a good. So if you have a child that's going into high school, tell them to make sure they look out for the pool. She was like, I was telling these guys that I was grouped with, like, yeah, there's a pool. My mom used to go here. There's a pool. She was like, we never got to the pool. And I was like, wait, you were listening to me? And she was like, yep. And I was like, no one ever listens to me. I'm so happy I got you. And she was like, I was so embarrassed. She's like, the group of people I was with was like, there's a pool? And I was like, yeah, my mom told me all about it and we'll get to see it. And she was like, and then they were all like, where's the pool? Isn't that good? I got her. They must have filled it in. It's on the 3rd floor. Yeah, I was like, gotcha. And she was like, Mom, that is so, and she's like, and they don't put you in trash cans either, because I told her they'll stuff you in a trash can, which honestly could happen. I'm not completely joking about that part because I have seen it happen, but like, they're not gonna, that's not like they're not going to put every freshman in the trash can, just like they're going to stuff you in your locker type of thing, you know? Got him. And then she was like, my mom, it's definitely her. My mom would never lie. Yeah, my mom went here, you guys. My mom went here. She knows. I was like, yeah, there's a pool. And Annalie was like, and there was no pool. And I was like, dang, that's weird. And she was like, you lied to me. And she just kept trying to look in my eyes. And I was cackling so hard. I was like, that's weird. There was a pool. There's no 4th floor either. So yeah, that was yesterday's tour of the high school. And that pretty much is all we've been up to. I will say, I feel like I feel like today I'm just off my game. I feel like I had a lot of things I had to talk about and I can't remember any of them. I'm so excited the weather is more beautiful. Yesterday, I went outside and I laid in the sun for 30 minutes and I watched this, I listened to this 2020 about this lady. Honestly, it was just like every other 2020. It was like this, the spouse did it, you know, like no doubt about it. The spouse did it, you know. But this one, there really was nothing like too exciting about it. But, oh, this is what I was going to tell y'all about The Pitt. All right, so I watched The Pitt on HBO Max, and I've sent a lot of y'all to watch The Pitt, and you love it. It's a great show. It's like a hospital show. Ashley, I think I said Pitt, P-I-T-T. So anyways, this show called The Pitt is so freaking good. It's got Noah Wyle in it, and he's sort of like, he's handsome. He's got like a rugged look to him nowadays. Looks like he could save your life and break your heart all in the same day. Pitt, yeah, Pitt. So I read this morning, I don't know how true this is. I still have random April's Fool's Day jokes coming up on my newsfeed, so don't take my word for this. I didn't fact check it. But someone said the widow of the creator of ER is suing Noah Wyle, excuse me, I have hiccups, for basically stealing the premise of the show. But no, it's not Noah Wile's show. Michael Crichton, whatever his name was, that his widow is suing. You haven't watched this yet, Danielle? It is so freaking good. So the idea is every episode is an hour in the ER. And healthcare workers all over the world have basically said, yes, this is exactly what it's like. It is the most accurate. It is the best, it is the best representation of what it's like. This is what it's like, and this is everything. Yes, we do go through these things in a day. The only complaint I've heard, one, is the language. I don't have a problem with bad language because when I'm not on live videos, I have the mouth of a sailor, but a cute face. So I don't have a problem with language, but people are like all bent out of shape. Well, I feel like they're probably cussing a lot. I feel like they're probably cussing a lot in the ER because you're trying to save somebody's life. Like sometimes you just need to throw in a little extra razzle dazzle and cuss some, you know, throw in a cuss word there for dramatic effect. I like it. So they cuss and people don't love that part. And then another part is there's a lady that gives birth to a baby. And everybody's like, that was not the most realistic. That was not the most realistic representation because labor and delivery comes down and they're like, yeah, we're super busy right now. We can't take this emergency situation you've got going on. So they say that one, and then people get pissed off about the cussing, and then people are saying the only part so far that has not been the most true was the birth, which I thought the baby was really little. And so I was shocked by that. Yeah, I feel like he's got a full plate. He doesn't mind, you know? So, but people are offended by the language, and then people are offended at the birth scene. I would love to go one day and just hang out in an ER and just, It's a really great show. So every episode is an hour in the ER. So it literally goes like from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. And you are with these people on what is the worst day Noah Wyle has ever had in his entire life. Like literally, if it could go wrong, it goes wrong. And he's saving the day, left and right. He's saving the day. And there's interns and residents. And well, that one, I was a little, now I do need to preface this by saying I didn't even see my own birth. Like they tried to bring me a mirror and I was like, hold up. I'm not pushing anymore if you don't get that away from me. Because I felt like I could see myself turning inside out. And I was like, I'm not pushing anymore until you get that away from me. And they're like, you need it. Your epidural is too good. You're not doing the right things. I was like, well, I'm going to continue not doing the right things if you keep showing me what is happening, because there's no way a body is going to bounce back from this. Like I was traumatized. So then I wanted to be in someone else's birth because I was like, well, I want to see what goes down. So if you would like me to be in your birth, I will be absolutely no help. And I will actually probably create more chaos than what is already going on, but I'm a good time. I feel like I'm really funny. I could throw some one-liners. I'll tell you what celebrity your baby looks like once it pops out. To the lady in the wheelchair, I kept offering. Sure. She's so great. Myrna, I started Pulse on Netflix and it's good too. There's a few other, y'all mentioned the other day, a few other hospital shows. I wish I would have video. No. I don't want to see my own. So I thought I was going to be in the emergency room when my niece Kiki was born, but she ended up being a C-section baby. All that time we waited, she ended up being a C-section baby. But then after watching the lady give birth on the pit, I was like, it's not what I imagined. The baby was so little and everything else was larger than I expected. I don't know. It was just something else. So when people were like, no, that wasn't the most accurate birth I've ever seen, I was like, oh, okay, good. All right, cool. So if you haven't watched The Pit yet, I highly recommend it. Noah Wyle is very, oh, it is true. He's being sued. That is crazy, but what does that have to do? Or is he being sued by the creator of the show? So you can never go on and play the same type character. You'll never be typecast ever again, is what they're saying. Like, this is not the first time in the history of the universe someone has been cast to play a similar character. And I don't think it's anything like ER. I went back and watched a couple episodes of ER, and I was like, I think it's been too long. I think technology has come too far. It's hard for me. Like, it looks like Little House on the Prairie now. You know what I mean? Like, technology has come too far. I can't keep up with it. George Clooney is okay, but I kind of think he's weird anyways, so it doesn't really there's really no appeal. They have like paper charts and stuff. It's literally like by candlelight, pioneer days. It's weird. I couldn't get into it. So I will say that this show, and if we're going storyline against storyline, I think The Pit is 1,000 times better. It gets more personal into the lives of the doctors and the nurses. The nurses are not just background actors. They actually like follow their job as well, which I feel like is really great for nurses. It's very different than ER. My first one was like that. So my second, hell, I was not prepared. I had no horror stories, just easy stories that make people hate me. Yeah, it's very, it's a great show. If you haven't started watching it, you really need to watch it. It's very good. And it really takes you down the path of like what it's like being in healthcare and just how quick they have to react to situations. I'd be standing there like, part of me thinks I'd do good in that situation, and other parts of me are like, you wouldn't stand a chance. You wouldn't last 5 minutes in that place. I laid down. I'm not doing it. Call somebody else. On the in the elevator to go have Ava, the doctor said, okay, go over to the hospital. I'll meet you there. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm 38 weeks and 2 days, and every birth birthing story I've been watching on TLC tells me that I will wait until 40 weeks and I will have a birth plan and I will have a bag packed and everything will be together. And you know what? We're not together yet. So no, I don't think I'm going to be going to that hospital. And they were like, no, you are. And then literally when it was time to give birth to Annalie, I was begging Josh, like, can we go to another country? Can we just get out of here? This one, overrated. Can we get going? And Josh was like, what do you think is going to happen? And I was like, we could run. And he's like, eventually you've got to do this. And I was like, nah, that's what they say. But what has happened if you've never gotten to that point, you know? Like, let's test it. Let's see what happens if we just pretend like this is not happening. I was scared to death. So it was less than magical. Elijah, you just slipped right on out. It's a lot. Childbirth is a lot. I feel like it's so traumatic. I can't even really talk about it without getting hives. But I really do want to be in someone else's delivery room. Golly, do I ever. I just want to see it. But I guess I've seen it on TV now, so that's good enough. I have nothing to bring to the table, so I don't know why anybody would invite me to that. It would be better if it was somebody I didn't know as well either. You know, like if one of y'all wanted to have me present, I've said this for years. I will gladly come to your birth. I will be of no assistance or help. I just want to watch and like make funny comments occasionally. Facebook's doing that thing again. It's freezing up. I love Wendy. She is the best. All right, I just went in with one. All right, these are the two colors I used. I used that one and I used that one. That's it. That's it. Just those two. Oh, no. That's why I want it to be somebody I don't really know. That's why I want it to be someone I don't really know. I don't think I could handle it with my girls. I want it to be somebody I'm not as close with. No. I don't think that's too much pressure if it's your own like person. I was 17 in my 17-year-old delivery room, birth control. That was. I know, I wish I could have been there. I would have held your leg or said something funny. I feel like my hair's getting really long. And what I want to do is I want to just bleach it white and then cut it off. It was much more gory than I expected. Really? I was there for my granddaughter's birth. I don't think I want to be there for anybody I know. Like, I need to get my feet wet first and I need to go see a stranger or like a distant friend. Like one of y'all. Just let me know if somebody would like me to be there. I'll make it happen. I'll bring you some snacks for afterwards. I really can't offer much more than that though. I do remember when the doctor was like, here you go, cut the umbilical cord. And Josh was like, I'm really surprised he didn't fall out. I was watching this video the other day and you could have cussed me out. It would have been fine. I would have taken it personally for like a year, but then I would have gotten over it. I was watching this thing the other day. Yeah, that's what I think, Teresa, that's how I think I would feel. But I was watching this lady's video the other day and she said that she went in and had to go into a C-section and they went to, do the spinal block or whatever they do. They went to give her the numbing stuff and it didn't work. And she was telling them it didn't work and they were not listening. They were telling her, oh, you're crazy. You cannot feel that. And then they cut her and they had her husband hold her arms above her head. When I tell you that would have ended my entire generational family, I mean it. I would have made sure that my child knew that story. They would have never given birth. Like, boom, you could end a whole family right there with a story like that. Like, we are done. There will be no continuing a legacy. There will be no generations to come. This lady was telling that story. I was traumatized just hearing it. I could only listen to so much of it at a time because my heart was racing. I felt so bad for her. I can't imagine. Cut through 7 layers of skin and she felt it all. Or 7 layers of organs and everything else. And then they send you home with a baby. Isn't that crazy? And then her husband fell out and he was so traumatized, he slept for the next day. So he had to go to the ER and get a CAT scan to make sure he didn't have a concussion. Because he was so traumatized. And they said nurses filed complaints. Nurses that were in there were so traumatized, they filed complaints. Could you imagine? My daughter's epidural didn't work. Had to get it twice. For Abram's birth, I took a professional. I took a friend that worked in labor and delivery. I was like, hey, are you free for the next 12 hours? I'm going to need you to come with me. And she made sure everything, I mean, that was the greatest experience I've ever had. If you have a friend in labor and delivery, I highly recommend it. If you don't, make one. I imagine that she did everything like a doula does. They like speak on your behalf and they're like there and present and their number one concern is you. I just imagine, and they know the inside out of the business. It was like having a cheat sheet with me. My epidural didn't work. Oh, probably sheer adrenaline. I'd have to say that story probably beats them all. You got to go find her. You'll be able to find her on TikTok. She's a cute little nugget. She's sitting on the floor, I think. She's telling the story. Just go in and look. C-section. What would you look up? C-section. Not. I felt my C-section. I mean, honestly, I don't know what you would look up to find this video. It just popped up on my For You page one time. And then she was going through like the reasons they couldn't sue because she went and spoke with a lawyer afterwards. And basically all of the doctors covered their own tracks with the reports that they gave. But there were nurses that filed the complaints. And she said the director of hospitals came to her room that same day to check on her. But then when it came down to like legal, time to like legally do stuff, she's still with her husband. I don't think her baby is that old. When it came time to like legally do something, they wanted the doctor's notes and the doctor was like, everything went well. Everything was textbook case. Back in the day, I'm older. I was numb until my babies were about to be born. Thank the Lord, I'm done birthing babies. Yeah, I see people I know doing pregnancy announcements on Facebook. And the way my heart is like, no, thank you. The way that I don't feel a thing is incredible. I don't feel a thing, but they should be jealous because my children can all wipe their own butts and make their own breakfast. Like that's where we're at and I'm happy to be there. I had one naturally by accident. The third, I did watch this other video somewhere. I don't remember where I heard this story, but this lady had a baby on the way to the hospital in the car. You're not even ready for this. They named her Miles. Miles. Get it? Miles. So we tried to sue for malpractice. Also, they want you to die before. That's true. Ava had a very traumatic birth story, and we talked to a friend who was a lawyer, and they were basically like, oh, if there's no like loss of this or that or the other, basically if you don't, God forbid, I'm very thankful. If there's no long-term damage then there's nothing you can do about it. And it's crazy. I've got an idea for healthcare I'm just going to throw out there. I thought of this the other day. This might already be a thing. They might have already talked about this before. But since everyone is sort of up in arms and we can all kind of agree that our healthcare sucks, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think that prices for things at hospitals should be on a board like a menu. Then that way you can like shop around and it can be competitive. It should be like the nail salon. Like you go to whatever department you're there for and all the prices are listed, and then that would force healthcare companies to lower their prices. They would have to compete against each other, and we would not be, but they will never do that, I don't think. But I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if you could see, like, okay, we're going to charge you $87 for this Tylenol, and then the one down the street is like, no, we're only going to charge you $4. They would have a line around the building. C-section because it wasn't planned, but I wouldn't dilate past 6. Water broke at 4 p.m. He was born. That is a long time. Use the money it took to send Rich. Isn't that a good idea? I don't know if that's a thing or not. I don't know if anybody's ever mentioned that, but like if you could shop around the same way we do with everything else, wouldn't that be great? Well, why would they do that, you know? I remember them yelling to get the other, ripped my, break it, you. There's a lady on here that didn't have the time to get the anesthesia doctor in, so they just had to take him. That is a crazy story too. This woman, they just wouldn't listen to her. They're like, oh, you know, there's no emergency situation. We just think you're full of it, and there's no way you're feeling that. I mean, if the nurses were traumatized, I feel like that, it doesn't matter what the doctor's notes say. If a nurse was in the room and she was traumatized enough to file a report, that probably should be grounds for some sort of compensation. Bare minimum, at least a free visit. When Josh coded, when he had his incident and he coded and almost died, we never got a bill. I don't want to brag, but he almost had to die, and then we didn't get a bill in the mail. It just disappeared. It was as if it never happened. I don't know Teresa, but she talks about it in great detail. You gotta go see the video. It's crazy. I'm getting bill after bill. Facility, 2 offices, in facility, 3 doctors, equipment fees. It's not stopping, and they're not itemized bills. Well, I know. You know what? This is just going to tell some of y'all how stupid I am, but you have to understand, I'm not in the healthcare industry. I literally had 3 children, and I think we paid $900. Like, they literally would come in the room and be like, oh, you don't have insurance. Okay, what can you give us today in cash? And we'll just settle. And I would be like, 300? And they're like, yeah, sure. And so they would take our money, and that would be it. We never got another bill. I'm not kidding. That is the God's honest truth. They would be like, what do you have in your pockets? Okay, cool. We'll settle with you today, because a little bit of money today is better than nothing later. So, I have insurance now. Like, before we always had like catastrophic, like just told everybody, no, we don't have, I don't think any of this is legal. This is allegedly for entertainment purposes. We'd just be like, no, we don't have insurance, and then like pay cash for everything. And it was so freaking cheap. Like, my children would go to the doctor for like $25. Excuse me, we have insurance now, and I'm literally getting bills for hundreds of dollars. Like, a colonoscopy with insurance costs more than when you cash pay to repair an entire Achilles, anesthesia, operating room, and everything out the door. What is happening? What is happening? I was like, yeah, let's get insurance. Look at us. We are such adults. I don't think I want it. I don't think I want it anymore. That was for entertainment purposes, allegedly. It was based on a true story. It was nothing that had ever happened to me, now that I'm thinking about it. But I have, like, the co-pays with insurance are more than what you would cash pay for something. Get me back to Medicaid. It was crazy. It was crazy. It's crazy. I don't think I want to have this anymore. I don't think I want, you know what? Nah, we'll just go back to how we were living, you know? Wait until, oh, I don't want that to kick in. Heaven forbid you have to, oh, I have a good story. So my coworker, her son was at college and he kept having kidney stones. He kept having kidney stones and he would have to go to the hospital. And so he's scared. He's away from home. He's away from his parents. He doesn't know what to do. So he starts having this excruciating pain. And his parents, or his friends rather, they're like, hey, call an ambulance. His friends, like other students in the dorm room, they're like, you need to call an ambulance. So they call an ambulance. They put him in it. They cart him off. Second time, it happens again. Kidney stones, middle of the night, screaming in pain, agonizing pain. Call an ambulance again. Parents meet him at the hospital. My friend's husband says, hey, do me a favor. Before you call the ambulance next time, I would rather you call a limo. Next time you're feeling some type of way and you need a ride, please call a limo. If you ever call an ambulance again, you're out of here. You're off our insurance. Call a limo. We have to pay meds that we can, but it still hurts the pocket. Some people, it's very crazy time. I had my son never had a hospital bill. I know, it's crazy. It's really wild, the times that we live in. The bills, I'm like, no, I even called one of them. I was like, no, you don't understand. We have insurance. And they're like, we know. They don't care. Flip to the ER limo, somebody. Yeah, exactly. And then claim you got chest pains. Allegedly. Just kidding. Okay, well, this is it. This is my face for the day. I hope you guys have a really great day. And I'll be back probably tomorrow, I think. Yeah. If you want to shop any of the makeup I used, most of it was Ophir, and it's linked on LizDoyleBeauty.com. We charge for everything. I think we paid $70. Yeah, healthcare is a scam. All right, well, thanks for being here. I don't know. I sort of feel like I had too much to talk about, and I couldn't really tell the stories to their fullest potential. It felt like an awkward live, but thanks for joining me anyways. I'll see you guys later. Bye.